Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to part 2 of my mod spotlight on Intangible. Hopefully you guys checked out part 1 so you know what I'm talking about. This mod is really cool and we've really only scratched the surface and talked about the intro to this mod. Like we haven't even gotten to some of the in-depth stuff yet. So I'm really excited to show you guys what further things are available in Intangible. I think I promised that one of the first things we'd look at is the spell foci and some of the cool stuff you can do with it. And then we're going to get into some other types of souls, another crafting mechanic. We'll probably talk about a couple other cool things you can do, infusing souls into other creatures, crazy amounts of things that you can do with this mod. So let's take a look. So first, let's talk about the spell foci, okay? You can cast spells using the souls that you've garnered from, whatever creatures you've trapped and stolen their soul from. You'll notice there's a spell cost on a lot of these souls. So casting cost is benign, right? So there's actually 3 types of spells that are available, and you can check that out by looking in here at spell types. So there are prepared spells. Let's bring this down a little bit more. I don't want to look right like that. That looks better. Prepared spells, when selected, go into a ready state. So when a foci is used a second time, the spell is actually cast. So those are pretty neat. So these spells have a rounded icon in the foci interface. So what's that mean? Probably something like these, I guess, are prepared spells, right? That's pretty neat. So the other type of spell is passive spells. These remain active until dispelled with a second casting. So basically you cast it and it's on you, and then you cast it again and it's no longer on you. They consume the maintenance cost in souls until dispelled. So basically, spells like that have a square icon in the interface, and they may trigger automatically or require some other action like sneaking or attacking or something like that. So an example of one of those spells is probably this, right? So shift swing to push away nearby creatures. See how it has a maintain cost? So basically 2 of your benign souls will be occupied while you've got this ability active, and then when you deactivate it, they will become given back to you. Whereas things like Soul Leash, which are circular, right? These guys are going to be cast, and then there's a 4-second cooldown while the casting cost is consumed, right? So one of those benign souls is occupied for 4 seconds after casting it. So we'll get an example of how that works, right? Repair slowly repairs your armor, maintain cost 1. Pretty straightforward, right? And then the third type here is focused spells, are passive spells that will trigger their effect when a single enemy is repeatedly attacked. So we'll see some of those with some other abilities. I don't think I have an example of those right now, but they'll be in the squares, right, because they're passive. And basically, it'll say focus is required on an enemy. So basically, if you hit the enemy 3 or 4 times, that spell will be triggered. So it's very much like passive spells. So those are the different types of spells. Let's try one out. I want to try out casting, I think, Soul Leash, right? So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can hold right-click. We can release Soul Leash. You'll notice that it's available on my left there, and then when I right-click it, it's going to cast the spell, right? And notice on the top left, one of those souls has disappeared for about 4 seconds. Yeah, that's what it said, 4 seconds. Nice. Boom, right? The other thing we can do is assign a numerical number to this. So if I just press 1 on my keyboard, boom. Notice how there's a 1 there? Now, whenever I hold right-click on this guy and hit 1, notice that it's automatically selected. And then when I release, boom, it's going to cast, right? Neat. That's cool. And you can see on the top left, my soul's being consumed and then refreshing, right? So 1, boom, 1, boom, easy peasy, right? Let's give repair number 2, right? So if I just hit number 2, boom, I don't even know if, let's see. Yeah, it's probably not working because I don't really have any damaged armor. Let's see if I can get some. All right, damage some ardor, courtesy of Cave Spider. Nice. So Boots of the Traveler is damaged right now. Let's activate that repair. It doesn't want to activate. Oh, you know what? I think that passive spell requires having soulbound armor, which I don't have yet. So maybe we'll check that out in a little bit. But yeah, so you get the basic gist of the casting system, right? Oh, by the way, to move spells around like I teased last episode, simply hold the letter E, and it'll pick up that spell, and you can move it around as you wish. And then release E, and it's placed back where you left it. So pretty cool way to rearrange your spellcasting interface. Like I said, a lot of the passive spells, I don't think this one will work either, right? Yeah, do require you to be wearing special type of armor, which we'll get to this episode. Cool. So let's go ahead and discover another type of soul, because pretty much to progress in the mod at this point, you're going to want to discover at least 3 more types of souls, and there's very specific ones that you can detect. So let's check out some. I'm going to discover soul type number 2. Let's do it. So I'm going to want to set up a second one of these contraptions. Optionally, I could break this contraption, write down what types of mechanics are needed. So like, I'll just write down, hey, benign requires gourd, gourd, splitter, splitter, right? Or I could set up a whole nother system, right? So I could have, you know, like a soul cage here with a pressure plate in front of it. And this is probably the approach I'm going to take because this is the way I like to do things. So we'll open up. Oh, I placed that the wrong way. My bad. Oh, by the way, soul cages have some redstone interaction, which I'm going to talk about in a second here. Related to comparators, and then just set up a whole nother system, right? So funnel's always first, and then we go from there, right? So let's do another type of creature, and while we're at it, I'm going to show you comparator interaction here. So let's check this out. I'm going to place a comparator here with a piece of redstone, and we'll see what's involved. I want to go with, hey, a spider. I have one in my inventory here. Spiders have different types of souls than the friendly animal sheep that I had, so I'm just going to hit him. I just barely missed that. Make sure to have the door open when you get the creature to walk over it. Come here, spider. Come walk over this. Hey, I said come here. Gotcha. Nice. And you'll notice that we're outputting a signal strength of 2. Nice. So again, we're going to play the same mini game, right? I like to put 4 of the same type there and just activate it, right? And we'll see. Nope, not the right one. So break it. We'll replace it with the decanter, for example. Decanter is the wrong one, so we're going to replace it with a gourd. Gourd was correct. Nice. Okay. This one's not right. Try a decanter. On, off. And remember, you do have to reset this every time just to see that it's working or not. Nice. Aw. We're getting there, though. And again, once you discover this type of soul, you'll know the pattern to go down. Not correct. So let's try a gourd. Maybe it's just 3 gourds in a row. That would be neat. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Hey, just for the fun of it, let's try a 4th gourd. Maybe it's just 4 gourds. Like I said, it's random for every world, so just because this works for me, oh yeah, it is 4 gourds. Nice. Predatory soul. So I want to say spiders and maybe wolves are predatory souls. So we can extract this guy's soul now. So let's go ahead and set up similar. By the way, I believe it's a signal strength of 1 if there's no soul in the creature that's in the cage. So, but for now, let's go ahead and do this, and we'll put our soul relays here and here. Hey, get back in there. Soul relays here and here. And we'll just turn this off and on again, because that fixes everything. Cool. Hey, we got the spider soul, and he's just going to do the thing he's meant to do. Go straight for the soul thing. Nice. We got a predatory soul. Nice. We can let the spider out, and you'll see that he doesn't last very long in this world. Sorry, that's what happens when you don't have a soul. Let's go ahead and get 1 more of those. Come here, you. I'm trying to make you angry. Climb into the soul cage. Thank you. Off and on again. And you can turn these off, by the way, when there's nothing in there. Boom. Off. Door open. Spider soul there. Let's infuse the spider souls that we've got so far. So what I'm going to do is set this guy to the predatory soul. We'll put 2 on the predatory soul. So notice, by the way, we've got benign 2 and predatory 2. Now when I stand on here, I'm going to absorb that. This should work. Let's see. And then I'll tell you what's up. So in prior versions of the mod, it couldn't combine easily. You would want to remove your current soul set and add to it, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think now we'll be in good shape. Nice. Look at that. Cool. So there's 2 benign souls still in here from, you know, when I put other stuff in. And now I've got 2 predatory souls. And because I've got a new soul type, I've got access to some new spells. Nice. Look at that. So we've got Swarm, low damage projectiles, animate spider. This is a fun spell. I'm going to cast that in a minute. Claws, grow claws, do significant unarmed damage. Needs chest armor. So you'll notice that, you know, indicating directly that it needs chest armor. Multiple low damage projectiles, seek their prey. Kind of want to try that. Nice. That's cool. That's actually a really cool spell. I'm gonna set that to spell number 3. I don't know how much damage that's doing. Significant. About 2 of those to kill a spider. That's not bad at all. Let's check out this spell, which is kind of one of my favorites. Animate spider. Meow. Oh, it didn't work. Come on, animate spider. Let's try. There is that's actually not a bug with the mod. It's a bug with cross mod compatibility. There we go. Animated. Doot, 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 doot. I've got the spider block. Spider block. Spider block. No, I'm not going to do that. So these spiders are pretty cool. Let's place down a spider here. Hey, are you attacking me? Spider block's going to help me out. Take him down, spider block. They last for about a minute. And pretty much any non-tile entity block, so pretty much any block that's movable with a piston, if you want to put it that way. So like cobblestone, stone, wood, anything that a piston can move pretty much can be animated into a spider. So we should be able to work with this. Like I said, there's another mod that's causing an issue with this. So when it breaks like that, it's another mod that's breaking that. So it's not Intangible's fault. There's another mod that I have installed here that's causing that issue. So disregard that bug. It's being worked on and fixed, and the other mod author is being made aware. So that's what that's up about. Let's try the stone. Can I sneak that in there? Yeah, there we go. Hello, stone. Spider stone. Nice. That is so cool. So yeah, some of the cool spells that you can play with in this mod are pretty crazy. And oh, by the way, they will eventually, like I said, after about a minute, form back into normal stone or normal dirt or whatever they were, right? So that's the grass block that was following me around. After about a minute, he'll switch back. Shall we discover another type of soul? I vote yes. This one's I'm going to be dangerous about. Hey, creeper. Gotcha. Creepers have another kind of soul. Let's do a little research. Ta-da! I discovered the unhinged soul. This is a new type of soul, as you guys probably guessed. Let's turn this off briefly, do our soul relay thing. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And turn it back on. By the way, little tip about creepers. When they're placed in that bone cage thing, think of them as being in like suspended animation. They're going to stop and store the state that they're in. So if they were about to explode when they go in there, they're gonna explode when they come out. So keep that in mind. Yes, creepers without a soul can explode. So definitely recommend using the pressure plate system for the creepers. FYI, Endermen also have unhinged souls. So just made a second creeper soul. Let's infuse our player with some unhinged souls and see what spells we get. So unhinged 2. Dun, dun, dun. And while we're at it, I can get out my knowledge gem here. Boom. And check out souls, types of soul. We'll see that we now know about predatory and unhinged souls. So now that we've discovered them through that little mini game process, we're in good shape. Cool. So let's see. Do I get some unhinged souls? I will. Do I get new spells from that? Totally. So you can see on the left there, I've now got 2 benign, 2 predatory, and 2 unhinged. And unhinged has access to things like burn, can set a focused creature alight. So it's a passive spell. It needs to be maintained at all times. And after you hit a creature 2 or 3 times, give or take, it'll all of a sudden light on fire. Nice. It's like a proccing effect or a trigger effect, but you have to hit the creature a couple times before it takes effect. Adds unexpected behavior to other effects. So this costs 3 unhinged souls that have to be maintained at all times. And then when you cast other spells, strange things can happen. Cool. Do more damage with each hit. So you get the gist, right? Slingshot. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. Yeah. This is good for like scaling up cliffs, I think. Whoa! That's neat. You can do some cool stuff with these spells, definitely, as you will discover pretty quickly. I think I made it 5. Yeah, there we go. Ha! Nice. It's time for our 4th soul type. You ready? All right. So we're going for the wise soul. So villagers count, if you want to go that route. But personally, I'm going to go with something a little bit more evil than a villager. I don't want to steal villager souls, but you can. I'm going to go after witches. Hey, witch, come here. Yeah, look at me, direwolf. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on this way. Don't worry. You won't get trapped in that soul cage, and I won't steal your soul. Oh, I lied. Let's do some research. Dun dun dun. Ta-da! I discovered the wise soul. So witches and villagers have wise souls. Let's do the thing where we steal their soul and get it into our soul network. And once you've gotten the 4 basic types of souls, new research is going to be unlocked for you. And we're going to check that out in a minute. But first I want to see, are you 16 blocks? You might be too far away to be attracted. Let's do this. Turn this on. And you should be attracted to this soul relay now. And then sent over to the soul well. Cool? Go do that. Do the thing. Thanks, witch. All right, let's get another one. And then we'll check out what's next for this mod. Yep, witch is getting hurt. Warped witch, interesting. Another witch's soul, please. Thank you very much. So like I said, having multiple of these apparatuses is probably beneficial so that as you want to get more benign souls, it's easy. Just lead, you know, a cow or a sheep or a pig or something into this bone cage. And if you want a predatory soul, or if you want a creeper, or if you want et cetera, right? Or you could just have one setup and constantly rearranging the different types of things on top. Up to you. And I've now absorbed a couple of wise souls. Nice. Cool. So, spell foci, let's see. We got some cool stuff going on here. Tendrils. Pick up nearby items and deflect some projectile. Requires chest armor, though. We've got a couple other things unlocked, I think. Vision. See creatures through blocks. Nice. I think those are the 2 main ones unlocked thus far. But there's obviously, like, we've only discovered about half the spells, but we've only discovered about half the soul types. So that makes pretty good sense. By the way, another neat trick if you want to like unload all your souls for whatever reason, have a second soul infuser nearby and just have it be all 0. Boom. And when you stand on it, it'll drain your souls out of your player and store them back in the nearby soul well. Don't forget, like I just did, about the redstone signal, because that is an important part of this equation. And once we get our 5th soul type, I'll show you how to store, you know, between 5 and 8 soul types in your body all at once. Cool. So this will unload my souls and place them back in the nearby soul well. And I'm pretty sure the range is about 16 blocks. So, you know, there we go. Everybody's back in the pool. Let's check out what our knowledge gem has for us, because we've just unlocked a major part of this mod, which is basically tier 2. Bum, 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 bum. So what do we got in terms of souls? Ooh, there's new things we can do with souls. Transfusing souls. This is actually the gateway to tier 2. So we're not at tier 2 yet, but this will get us there. Transfusing souls is basically a structure which we can use to transfuse souls into soulless creatures. Example of soulless creatures are zombies. You can convert zombies to villagers. And to do that, we're going to need working souls, which are souls that are required just to be in the pool and won't be used up. And then you need a consumed soul. This soul will be used up in the process. So as long as you have one of each benign, predatory, and unhinged, you'll be good. It won't use them, but it will use up one of the wise souls that you have. The important one, though, is zombie pigman to pigman, because this is going to be an important part of unlocking the 2nd tier of stuff in this mod. So let's get ourselves a zombie pigman and check out how to do the transfusion structure. Cool? We're going to do soul transfusion, which is basically pretty cool. So again, you're going to want to be relatively, but not necessarily super close to this pool. We should be able to do it like, let's put one of these over here. And try it out. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 benign stones. And we're also going to want a reconstructor and a bone cage. So the reconstructor is made like so, with some stuff. Okay, and then another one of those bone cages, right? So we'll pop this guy into the middle of this area. I'll put him, like, let's say right about here-ish. It doesn't have to necessarily be in line, but maybe it would look nice if it was. I'm actually going to put this down 1 level into the ground. So the corporeal reconstructor goes here. The bone cage goes on top of it. Okay, and then you need benign stones kind of at the same level that this is. So if we look here, it's 1, 2 away and 1 on each side. So 1, 2 away, right? And then 1 on each side. So it's basically here, here, here. Sorry, he was in the way. Here. This is the pattern. Okay, And your benign stones go like this. Cool. You'll also notice that you need to give a redstone signal to the constructor on the bottom there, so a couple approaches there, obviously. I'm going to place a redstone block right underneath. And that should now construct the system. Nice. Now, where's this door? This way? Okay, so I'm going to put another one of those pressure plates in the front. Nice way to do it. Like I said, you can convert zombies to villagers, but the real thing that you want to do in order for this to work is convert zombie pigmen into pigmen, right? So we're going to need one of each type of soul just to be here, and we're going to need one wise soul for this process to function. So let's get ourselves a pigman, zombie pigman. We're going to make sure this door is open, and we're going to place him in the world and say, hey, zombie pigman, sorry, but I want you over here. Let's go. Gotcha. Nice. And I think, yeah, immediately, it's going to absorb some souls from our soul well and infuse this zombie pigman, which is currently soulless, he's a zombie, he doesn't have a soul, with a wise soul. And it's going to turn him into a friendly little creature. Dun dun dun! We discovered soul transfusion, and we just got ourselves a pig. These pigmen, like villagers, can trade for stuff, which is cool. But they also have a type of soul that we haven't discovered yet. So sorry, pigmen, but I'm going to need you to, do some stuff. So like villagers, there's not a great way to lead these things around, but you can push them. Step in there, would you, sir? Let's research. All right, just discovered the 5th type of soul, which is the malleable soul. Nice. And as you would expect, the same process applies that we've already seen in the past. This, and then do this. And then we should get this soul out of here, and he should wander his way because he's close enough to that soul well. Probably closer to that block, but that's fine. He'll go over there, and then he'll make his way to the soul well next. Thank you, sir. So as you want to get more malleable souls, work towards getting more of those pigmen, or, treat them in like that. But really the proper way to do it, obviously, is to get more zombie pigmen and infuse them with wise souls, and then you get it, right? So that is cool. So now we have a 5th soul type that we can infuse into our player and do other stuff with. To infuse the 5th soul type is really extremely easy. Simply get another soul infuser. Nice. Soul infuser, 2 of these on top of each other will work together. So you'll notice we've got benign, unhinged, predatory, and wise. I'm going to go ahead and get the malleable soul type, and let's ask for 2 of them. And by the way, I'm short a little bit on the wise, so let's bring that down to 1. Cool? Just stand up here, and it should run. And now I've got 5 types of souls infused into me, and access, of course, to new abilities and spells. Nice, like dodge. Can dodge a focused creature's attack. Nice. Animate tool. Cast at a sword, bow, or tool to bring it to life. Dude, that sounds cool. Replicate yourself with a clone after a focused creature's attack. That's neat. Heal. Heals when hitting a focused creature. Incorporeal. That's one that I want to show you guys. Incorporeal is an important part of this mod. Now that we've got access to this thing, which requires 3 malleable souls, so I guess I'm going to want another malleable soul, aren't I? Let's take care of that, and then I'll show you what incorporeal does, because it's cool. So let's talk about the limit to the number of souls you can put in your body. It is 2 times the number of souls you've discovered. So thus far I've discovered 5 souls. I can in total have 10 souls infused into my body. And as you can probably guess, I currently do have 10. So if you wanted to have 2 wise souls in addition to the 3 malleable, no, that would be 11 in total, and that would be too many. So currently I've got 10 in my body. That's my limit. After you've discovered the last 3 types, obviously the limit would be around 16. But let's check out what this nifty spell does. Incorporeal. Boom. Hello. I just left my body. How's it going? As a spirit, I have the ability to fly around. I think I can see creatures through blocks or something like that. Maybe something like that. I can always see my home point, though. So as I fly around this world, and pretty much I'm a soul. Hello. I can always see where my body is. And I can even right-click on that position where my body is, and my soul will immediately home back into my body. Nice. And I can right-click on myself to take back over control. How cool is that? There's a couple other neat tricks you can do as a soul, like take over an animal's body. Yo, how's it going? Doo, 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 doo. I'm just a humble sheep. Don't mind me. Meh, meh. Bah. Left shift to release that sheep's body and become a soul again, and we'll head off in this direction and get back into my body. Nice. So let's check out what the book has to say now that we've discovered this stuff. All of a sudden you're going to find, oh, there's a whole nother chapter called golems. If you think they're like Thaumcraft golems, they are not like Thaumcraft golems. But we're going to check out what Souls has to say right now. So we've discovered intangibility, which is something I just showed you guys. It's the ability to separate yourself from your own body. Pretty neat stuff. You can read about it there. Golems are the devices talking about here that can be controlled by someone who mastered this skill. So remember I said they weren't like Thaumcraft golems? No, you can create a house for your soul that's a powerful creature called a golem, and then you can infuse it and control it. Dude, right? So we haven't even gotten there yet, but I'm excited about it. There's other things we can do. Crystallized soul bone is made in a soul forge. This is a new crafting mechanic that we haven't seen yet. Let's see. So I think that covers everything about souls. We've seen our different types of souls out there. Yeah, so the main thing that we've seen in here is intangibility. But now there's new materials and new devices available to us. As you can see, the devices page is getting a little bit long. Cool. I think it's time to look at the soul forge. So you know how a couple things require a special type of armor, some of the spells and cool stuff like that? We're going to see how to make it. Constructing armor requires a few things. Specifically, number one, the soul forge. Then we have to construct the armor, then we have to temper the armor, and then we have armor that has cool stuff and cool abilities. So step one, we need to build this structure in the world. And we're going to want to put some plinths on top of it. So I'm going to build that now off camera real quick. One thing to note is the block in the center is malleable stone, not benign stone. You'll notice, if I can find it among 5 pages of stone, there is a type of stone for each type of soul, right? So unhinged, malleable, wise, predatory, etc., right? So those different types of stones all exist and they have different purposes. So pay attention to which types of stone go here. It's malleable in the center and benign on all sides. The other thing you're going to want to do is put plinths on these things. Cool. And the malleable down here with a plinth on top of that guy. Cool. The next thing we're going to want is a soul forge. Now the soul forge needs to be powered by souls from a nearby soul well. This guy has a range. Oh, by the way, I should probably unload any souls I have at the moment because I'm going to need them in a minute. This guy has a range of about 16 blocks, remember. So if you want to extend that range, we can go ahead and use soul relays that are powered by a redstone signal. So let's get ready to do that. So let's see. I'm not going to count out 16 blocks, but first unload all our souls. I'm going to say that, like, let's just do this. It should be about 16 maybe. And then we're going to need a soul forge nearby, which can help to boost the power and manage this whole thing. So I'm going to put him within 16 blocks of the soul relay. And he also needs a redstone signal to activate. So let's place him on top of redstone and boom. Dun, dun, dun. Cool. So the soul forge here, I think, is going to help to do things and stuff with relation to this. So let's check out our first recipe that we're going to need, shall we? Let's do boots, because I know that those are easier to make than some of the other ones. So let's see, soulbound armor, boots. Require in a soul forge the following: couple crystallized soul bones, 3, okay, soul bone. Crystallized soul bone times 3, which, by the way, you'll find is made in a soul forge with blue crystal and soul bone. So 4 blue crystal, 4 soul bone gets you crystallized soul bone, but we'll just skip that step. Soul bone conduits, which are made in the circuit stamper, we've seen those before, and the control circuit, which we've also seen before, also made in there. So 1 of these, and then soul bone, these guys. And this pattern is important, by the way, so don't just like put 3 soul bones right next to each other or whatever. Like it does matter that you do this, and then 1, 2. It's a circle, so it's, you know, you can kind of do whatever you want, but it does have to be in that pattern, right? So then soulbound control circuit. And once you place the last one, I think this should be cool, right? Did I do that pretty well, I hope? I think that's all there is to it. So to initiate this crafting process, we do need a redstone signal. And it needs to affect the malleable block there. So you can either put it on the dirt or whatever, but redstone signal and go. Nice. So you can see the soul just got transferred through there into here. This guy is doing its crafting process. The items got pulled off the plinths and zoom. We got some cool stuff. Boots. Nice. Look at that. Soulbound boots. Cool. Soul bone boots. Right. So these guys are cool. Notice, by the way, it does tell you the number of souls you require on the right here. The reason I made boots, I believe the helmets require wise and unhinged. All right, so that should be makeable. The leggings require benign and predatory. That's also doable. I could have sworn there was some kind of soul that I didn't have, but ring. Ooh, that's neat. So the next thing we need to do is temper the armor. I think, though, what we're going to do is come back in part 3 to see how to temper the armor so that we can use it for all manner of cool stuff. And then we will have a lot more to talk about because we haven't talked about golems yet. We have 3 more soul types to discover, and we have a bunch of other things, not to mention there's a whole system of things called deities, which I haven't even gotten to yet. So, like I said, this is a big mod. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to see, and we are going to check it out as we continue through the series. For now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out part 2 of Intangible. We will come back next time to see some more. All right, guys, take it easy.